Today I will be looking at how thriller films have changed over the years. So, what's different about them, as well as what's the same or similar? The first film we looked at was the ever famous Jaws, which was released on the 20th of June in 1975, and it was directed by Steven Spielberg. The film's plot is about a giant great white shark which arrives on the shores of New England Beach resort and wreaks havoc with bloody attacks and swimmers until a part-time sheriff teams up with a marine biologist and an old seafarer to hunt the monster down. The second film we looked at was He Knows You're Alone. It was released on the 29th of August in 1980, and it was directed by an Ahmad Masrouni. He Knows You're Alone is a routine slasher movie about a young bride ministered by a maniacal killer. She seeks the help of a former boyfriend and then tries to discover the killer's identity, but the more they try to discover it, the more bodies are counted. So it's about a maniacal killer who kills brides the day before their wedding to get revenge for something that they've done to him, like dump him. The third film which we looked at was Agnes of God, which was released on the 27th of September in 1985, and it was directed by Norman Jewison. The film is about an isolated convent becomes a setting for murder and suspenseful tale of spiritual passion and pride. Jane Fonda, Annie Bancroft, and Meg Tilly star in Norman Jewison's riveting adaptation of the hit Broadway drama. When the infant of a young nun, Agnes, played by Tilly, is found strangled, a court-appointed psychiatrist, Martha Livingstone, played by Fonda, must decide if deviant but troubled girl is fit to stand trial. In her quest for truth, Martha goes head to head with the intractable Mother Superior, played by Banny Croft, who assures her that Agnes has no memory of the pregnancy and who doesn't actually believe in the psychologist's methods. But the probe uncovers mysterious aspects of Agnes's personality, which leads to a shuddering climax. Is Agnes a god, a hysterical young woman, or is she ordeal divinely inspired? The fourth film we looked at was Nagati, which was released on the 21st of February in 1990 and was directed by Luke Benson. This film is about a very young who is 20 years old, but she has taken the wrong path. During a heist with her gang, she kills a policeman and is sentenced to life in prison. The Secret Service, on the other hand, offered her a way out, become an agent special, ready for anything to their service. Agassi accepts and she begins a very hard learning that concerns not only the different modes to kill, to escape or to cope with unforeseen situations, but also how to behave as a woman who has class, able to curb her rebellious character and overcome the final ordeal. She seems to have become a different person and falls in love, but should she trust the Secret Service? The fifth film we looked at was Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. It was released on the 29th of September 1995 and was directed by Joe Chaplin. The film is a typical thriller horror film. The film's plot is about Jamie Lloyd, young niece of supernatural psycho killer Michael Myers, gives birth on an altar amid a mysterious druid ceremony. Before she is killed by her mysterious uncle, Jamie manages to leave her baby in the care of young Tommy Doyle, who has pursued a lifelong obsession with the horrific Myers family legacy in the town of Hanningfield, IL. The sixth film we looked at was The Cell, which was released on the 15th of September 2000. The plot is about Catherine Dane, who is a psychotherapist. She's part of a revolutionary new treatment which allows her to literally go inside and enter the mind of her patients. Her experience in this method takes an unexpected turn when an FBI agent comes to ask for a desperate favour. They had just tracked down the notorious serial killer Cole Stranger, whose MO is to adopt women one at a time and place them in a secret area where they are kept for about 40 hours until they are slowly drowned. Unfortunately, the killer has fallen into an irreversible coma, which means he cannot confess that he has taken his latest victim before she dies. Now Catherine Dane must race against time to explore the twisted mind of the killer to get the information she needs, but Stranger's damaged personality poses dangers that threaten to overwhelm her altogether. The last film we looked at was The Purge election year. It was released on the 24th of August in 2016, and it was directed by James DeMarco. The film's plot is about that it's been 2 years since Leo Barris has stopped himself from a regrettable act on revenge on Purge Night, and now serving as head of security for Senator Charlie Rome. His mission is to protect her in a run for president and survive the annual ritual that targets the poor and innocent. But when a betrayal forces them onto the streets of DC on the one night when no help is available, they must stay alive until dawn, or both be sacrificed for their sins against the state. Thrillers in 1926 were mostly recreational tales such as Jack the Ripper. Then in 1960s, thriller films were based on people's actual fears, such as He Knows When You're Alone, which is a thriller which was released on the 24th of August in 1980. This film tells about a murderer who kills brides before their wedding day, what I've talked about. Then the 1970s cult films became quite famous, such as Sudden Terror. The 1990s, they were mostly about serial killers who stalked their victims, with usually a formidable yet ironic Ghostface costume. Now, in the 21st century, thriller films are all sort of things because of the very technologically advancements, which means there are lots more subgenres to the thriller films themselves because of the new technology that's available for them.